The art you make can say a lot about you and who you are as an artist. So today we're going to figure out the 5 art categories that you may fall under and what they say about you. So without further ado, let's get started. Artists number 1 are the realism artists. Artists who draw realism are the kind of artists who don't like to actually explore outside of reality. They tend to draw inspiration and see the beauty in how realistic things look, and therefore replicate that into their art styles. They love the natural beauty of how actual things look in reality, how the trees look when they're blowing in the wind, or how the sunlight hits the human skin. These artists enjoy the overall beauty on how real life things look. But the thing is, artists who tend to fall in this category also aren't the most creative whenever it comes to their artwork. While they may be amazing at replicating how things look in reality, they're not really good at drawing from imagination, and they're not the best when it comes to coming up with new ideas. They can only draw what they see, therefore relying on references and real life objects. So most of the time, if you try to ask a realism artist to draw from memory or to draw something in a style, they struggle with that. So therefore, even though realistic artists are amazing when it comes to replicating reality and rendering, they aren't the most creative artists. Artist number 2, the abstract artists. Now, the abstract artist is the complete opposite of the realistic artist because they are all creativity and no realism. Abstract artists are the most free and most creatively crazy artists in the entire art community. They have no direction, but they just go off feeling. They know what they want to make, but they just can't explain it. A lot of abstract artists make their artwork based on feelings and emotion. They also tend to have lack of structure, meaning that their artwork is never ever going to look pristine or clean. They tend to thrive in chaos and use that and project it onto their artwork. A lot of times abstract artists make artwork that people just don't understand. They just can't explain what's going on the canvas, because to an average viewer their artwork just looks like a bunch of paint and colors thrown onto a canvas, but they know something about it resonates with them. A lot of abstract artists base their artwork off emotion, feeling, and instead of trying to make a cohesive piece, they try to make their art create an emotion out of someone instead of worrying about making a visually pleasing piece. Artist number 3, the exaggerator. The exaggeration artist is the kind of artist that draws things that are the complete opposite of realism. Even though exaggerators have a very good understanding on how realism works, they tend to make their artwork, well, wacky. These are going to be your caricature artists, your cartoon artists, the artists who are willing to bend and break out of reality and make their own sort of style with it. These kind of artists tend to push reality to its limit, to see what its breaking point is, to see how things would look if it wasn't obeying the rules of physics and reality. Exaggerators, their brain works very differently from the average artist because they see something real and they want to push it. They want to see if they can change it up. Exaggerator artists are different because they are kind of a mixture of realistic artists and abstract artists. Abstract in the way how they are willing to push the boundaries of artwork and see what they can change, but also still making it cohesive to where people know what it is, but it's still different. I don't know if that makes any sense. For example, exaggerators may push the boundaries of the human body, and though they may know the correct way to draw anatomy, they want to see if they can push it to make it different. Exaggerated artists tend to get criticized a lot because they are willing to push the boundaries, sometimes going too far, but they don't really care because they enjoy bending reality. Being able to warp reality to their liking is something that exaggerators love doing in their artwork. Artist number 4, the printer. Now, the name may sound insulting, but it actually is very true, because the printer tends to be the kind of artist similar to the realism artist. The only difference between the realism artist and the printer is that the printer can create artwork in any art style. These tend to be the artists who replicate artwork from Dragon Ball Z or other anime screenshots, pretty much making their artwork exactly the way the reference looks. Printer tends to make all their artwork based on references that they find. A good example of an art printer would be somebody like Drawholic, who's pretty popular on YouTube. Printers are very good at visually transferring their references onto paper accurately, and because they're so good at transferring references onto paper, they become sort of like a Well, in the name, human printer. And our last artist for today is artist number 5, the Masters of All. The Masters of All are the kind of artists that have a distinct style and their artwork is recognizable, but they can also switch whenever they want. These kind of artists are known for drawing in all kinds of styles, whether it's cartoons, anime, realism, even surrealism. They seem to be good at pretty much everything. Whatever they want to draw, they can just make it. They want to draw a realistic piece on Monday and then a cartoon anime piece on Tuesday, then they can do that whenever they please. The Masters of All tend to stick to one particular style for the majority of their artwork. These kind of artists are able to draw things in a style that is unique to them, but also they can turn off that style and switch it into something different. The Masters of All are pretty much what it says in the name. They can do all styles. They're the exaggerators, the realism artists, the abstract artists, the printers. They love creating art strictly because they just love to create, and the Masters of All are very good at switching their style up whenever they want to. Being a master of all is pretty rare for an artist because a lot of times artists tend to stick to one particular thing in their art category, but these kind of artists tend to draw whatever they want whenever they please. But even though masters of all tend to draw everything and anything, they also have one particular thing they enjoy the most, and they tend to draw that thing often. Masters of all also tend to see the beauty in all kinds of styles and in all kinds of categories. They tend to be attracted to realism artists. They like surrealism artists. They like exaggerators. They like the printers. They love the anime artists and the cartoon artists. And they tend to appreciate all styles under the sun. But like I said, the master of all will be good or at least better at one particular thing. Maybe that thing is they're really good at drawing anime characters, or they're really good at drawing realism, but they're still good at drawing other styles. Being able to draw in multiple different styles is probably what makes the Masters of All one of the strongest kind of artists in the art community. But one thing that makes the Masters of All stand out the most is that they are able to create art from imagination without even seeing what they are looking at. Like I said before, the Masters of All are really good at drawing different styles, but they are also extremely good at drawing from imagination. They can close their eyes and create something on paper without even trying. They don't spend too much time looking for references on Pinterest or other social media apps. They just pick up the pencil and start creating. And that is what makes the Master of All, well, the Master of All. Anyway, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. I didn't get to cover every single artist in this video because there are many other categories that I can talk about, so let me know if you guys want a part 2. Also, let me know what category you fall under in this video. I'm very curious to see what kind of artist you are. And with that, peace out.